Let me ask you something. Why does it seem that some businesses, it seems like they close deals almost effortlessly, and others doing the exact same work, they keep losing and struggling to close those deals? It's really not the product, it's not the price, it's not even your marketing. Even though that does have a lot to do with it, the main thing that gets people to work with you is trust and timing. And here's the problem. Most businesses have no idea where they have trust, where it's breaking down, or what to do about it. They just keep losing clients or deals they should have won, and it's extremely frustrating to see. And even for me, it's frustrating to see for me as well. We've worked with businesses between real estate, financial services, construction companies, professional services, and here's what we see over and over again. A business owner does everything right. They have happy clients, but their close rate is inconsistent. Maybe some referrals are trickling in, but they should be pouring in. And somewhere between I'm interested and I'm in, the prospects go quiet. So, what do you think is happening? There are gaps in your trust building system. There's gaps between your tools, there's gaps between the touch points, there's gaps between what you intend to communicate and what prospects actually experience. And every single gap is a trust leak. Think about it from a prospect's perspective. Maybe they find you online, they show interest, they were ready to take the next step, and then they experience silence for 48 hours or more. Or maybe they get a generic follow-up email that felt like it was written for somebody else. Or they couldn't find a single review when they went to review or verify that you were legit. That's a trust problem. And the frustrating part is most owners don't even know where it's happening. I can't tell you how many times that I've requested a quote or maybe try to contact a business through an online form. I submit the form and I don't hear anything for at least 24 hours. Guys, it's not that difficult to implement an automation that lets the lead know that you received the form submission and somebody will be in touch shortly. That alone would keep that prospect from going to your competitor. I'm telling you, just yesterday, I requested a quote for some gravel for my backyard. It took that company 7 hours to hear anything from them, just to find out that they didn't have that size or kind of material. First off, why don't they have the information on their website? Or even better, have an AI chat widget to answer those types of questions for you. Second off, I didn't even receive any confirmation email or text that they got my quote. And so guess what I did? I moved on to the next company to get a quote from them. If that first company had done a better job at communicating, I might have spent a little more time with them and might have purchased maybe a different kind or a different size of rock. What I'm trying to get at is every touch point is building trust. Every lack of touch points or even the incorrect or inappropriate touch point can erode that trust. That simple system of just letting me know that they got my form submission can make it or break it for most businesses. And as a business owner, I know that we don't typically focus on trust. We talk a lot about maybe the drivers of revenue, the traffic, conversion rates, the lifetime value of a customer, but trust, nobody measures it. Nobody has a dashboard that tells them how much trust they're building. Nobody really even knows the language around it. And yet, trust is the thing that keeps and controls all the numbers. So your conversion rate is a trust metric. Your referral rate, your retention rate, even your ability to charge a premium, that's trust. So here at Capitallyst Pro, we built the entire company around one belief. Trust is the most underrated growth lever in business and the one most owners never measure. We didn't invent that idea, we just happened to uncover it. After years of working inside of businesses, watching them win, watching them bleed, and realizing the pattern was always the same. The businesses that scaled had trust infrastructure, or a form of it, right? The ones that plateaued had trust gaps. All right, so what I wanted to do now is we're gonna jump over the whiteboard. We're gonna go over 3 levels of trust because most business owners don't even know that they have a trust issue, and how Capitallyst Pro, different features and different systems inside of Capitallyst Pro can help fill that gap of trust in your business depending on what type of business and what your needs are. So let's dive in to the 3 levels of trust. Trust level number 1 is transactional trust. Transactional trust is more for service-based businesses. It could be for other types of businesses, but if you're HVAC, if you're a plumber, if you're a welder, if you're a roofing company, it's the level of trust that you need to be able to respond or communicate in speed. And I'll talk about this later on in this YouTube video, but really it's those people who need a quote or they need communication with some sort of somebody from the team to be able to keep them and their attention to your specific company. A lot of these companies are being Googled and researched. Sometimes it's even a referral. But if that lead is not getting responded to quickly, or a phone call or a quote or something, they're usually at a point where they need you really quickly. This is a speed to lead issue that a lot of these companies have that they're not fulfilling on because maybe they're a smaller team and they just don't have the capacity to be able to respond quickly. And here's what's funny is you can fix that all with AI and automation. So with transactional trust, this is where we implement some of our systems with AI. We can do instant missed call text back. So if somebody calls in, nobody's answering, they get a text back. Now you can implement an AI agent, whether that's through like conversation or it could be voice. Now form opt-ins, we can do instant email or text to respond to those opt-ins. This is speed to lead, it's transactional. You're not gonna need as much trust or time to build trust with that lead to convert them to a sale. The second one, and I'm gonna switch my marker here, relational trust. This is for financial advisors, real estate agents, commercial real estate brokers, coaches, consultants, insurance brokers. So those types of businesses where it's not just like, I'm gonna call somebody up and instantly hire them. This is a little bit longer of a sales cycle. So what do we need to implement into your business to consistently be top of mind, building that trust and educating these people of what sets you apart from all the other businesses. So the types of things that we can implement into relational trust are also missed call text back. Maybe it's a voice AI, maybe it's a scheduling AI, an AI assistant that can book appointments for consultations or meetings or lunch appointments or whatever you need it to be, answer questions, send them links. Everything that you would be paying somebody $8,000 to $10,000 a month as a receptionist, the AI receptionist can do it. And I also call this the front desk AI because they handle all the upfront communication. If it needs to go to an actual human team member, it can transfer the call or transfer the conversation and notify that person. So everything in transactional is also going to be related to the relational trust. What we also want to implement here is some education. And what we've seen a lot of these businesses implement is webinars or workshops. Webinars and workshops are great because now you can go from one to many and teach and educate of what sets you apart from all these other businesses. Okay, so webinars and workshops are great. Email campaigns are also really, really helpful and really good. The next one's gonna be referrals. So other clients can refer, and also reputation. Also up here in transactional trust, reputation management. So Google reviews, Yelp reviews, Facebook reviews, all of that can be automated through our system to be able to, let's say after a job, you ask for a review from your customer, instantly, boom, it's all automated. Now, relational trust, reputation holds a little bit of different weight. You're not gonna be pounding everybody for reviews, but Google reviews, testimonials on your website, this is huge, okay? So I'm gonna put testimonials. Now, if somebody calls into a lawyer, they're probably gonna set up a consultation. Well, they have the consultation, maybe they like a little bit of what they hear, but again, they have questions. What sets you apart from somebody else? Maybe they were referred to them, so that adds a little bit more trust, but you still need well, maybe I should go and look at another lawyer. So another thing is just consistency, being top of mind and consistent, because these people have busy lives too, they're working. You wanna make sure that there's a consistent cadence to be able to stay top of mind. So wow, these people communicate, I'm getting educated. Other firm that I talk to, they're not, right? So it's very important to be consistent and communicate while building this relational trust. All those touch points
build that relational trust. So I'm gonna go ahead, erase this real quick, and we'll go to the third level of trust, and that's called deep trust. All right, so third level of trust is deep trust. These are also very similar to relational trust. Okay, so you can kind of visualize it as tiers. Transactional, relational, and deep. Kind of all can utilize the same trust operating systems or bits and pieces, but again, it is a little bit different. Deep trust is like you're married to this client for months or even years. It also takes or could take months and years to build that trust, enough to get them to partner with you or purchase your services. For example, we work with a lot of fund managers, capital raisers. That is very deep trust. You're gonna have to establish some credibility, their perception of you. So your website, your LinkedIn profiles, the way you communicate, the way you dress, right? It's very outward appearance as well as just credibility. So some of the things that we do here in deep trust, again, we have a system in Capitallyst Pro that does evergreen webinars. And what I mean by that is they are recorded live or as if they're live, but they can continue to play and people can register for them as if they're live. This is how you scale. You can't continue to do weekly workshops and webinars and offer the same level of scale. So you're gonna have to automate some of this. Again, it doesn't take the personal touch out of it because you're still gonna be calling those people who are actually qualified and ready to work with you. If somebody's wanting to invest $350,000, $500,000 with you in some of your deals, you're gonna have a level of trust for them to be able to commit that. Now, it could be an attorney firm, it could be a commercial construction company. If that customer or client, I would say, or partner is looking for a construction company to be able to handle that large of a project, there's gonna have to be a lot of trust. So credibility, I talked about that. So website, social media, communication, testimonials, reviews. And what we found is website is huge. This tells the story. You have to have a good story too. Let people inside how you came to be, the goods, the bads, the amazing customers and experiences, the success. And that can also go into your webinars. You can talk about that very openly. And people like real, genuine people. They like to partner with real, genuine people. This will open up, the curtain behind everything and let them into your world. Emails, this also is consistency. Consistency is key. And there's a lot more that can go into it, and I'll show you in this video maybe some walkthroughs of how Capitallyst Pro visually, you can just see me walking through the system of how we implement some of these things to make sure that you do sustain that level of trust and continue to educate these people. So again, we got 3 levels of trust: transactional, relational, and deep. If you guys still don't know kind of where you fit, and I don't want you to just like put yourself into a box here. I want you to go and take our trust diagnostic tool. It's on our website. It will help you identify through those questions and that assessment where you actually fit and provide you a breakdown of how you can implement these systems as well. Let's jump back to the video.
What we've built in Capitallyst Pro is called the Trust Operating System. We also call it the Trust OS. It's an actual operating system, one that plugs directly into your business. We identify exactly where your trust is breaking down, and through systems, AI, and automation, we fix those gaps. Here's how to think about it. Right now, your business probably has a CRM, right? Maybe it's a marketing tool, maybe you have some basic automations, and that's great. Maybe you have a website, a chat widget, forms, right? Here are a few examples of what it looks like for capturing a lead. Let's say a prospect fills out a form, they wait 2 hours for a response, a new client signs, and hears nothing for a week. A happy customer wraps up their project and you never ask for a review afterwards. Now, each one of those touch points is eroding your trust. And eroded trust means slower closes and ultimately revenue you never see. The Trust OS closes those gaps. It answers leads in under 2 seconds. It runs your follow-up automatically. It builds your reputation in the background. It keeps clients engaged after the sale. It turns every satisfied customer into an active referral source for your business. Now, your business might be different, might not need all those things, but that's where our team comes in and identifies exactly what you need. Now, some of you are thinking, well, I already have a CRM. Why do I need Capitallyst Pro? And here's the difference. We're not just a CRM. A CRM is a record keeper, right? It stores who you know, maybe it logs what happens after you took action. It actually waits for you to show up. The Trust OS, it acts for you. Your CRM maybe doesn't send a follow-up when you're on vacation. It doesn't respond to a lead at 11 p.m. on a Friday. It doesn't book the appointment, track the reputation, or run the post-sale experience. Now it could, but Capitallyst Pro does that all in one place, and it does it through integrated systems where every touch point is built to build trust. I want to be direct with you because we believe in honest over hype at Capitallyst Pro. The Trust OS is not for everyone. It's built for businesses that are already generating over $1 million in annual revenue. We're looking for businesses that have real lead flow already. They have an established team and at least a few years of operational history. Now, if you're in an early startup mode, or you're a solopreneur looking for lead gen or a magic pill to skyrocket your revenue, this isn't for you. But if you're running a real business and you can feel there is a revenue leak in your system needs improved and optimized, maybe you need to build trust at scale and you don't know how to do it, that's where Capitallyst Pro comes in. And I'm telling you, it's a trust gap. And we know exactly how to fix that. So here's where to start. We built this free tool called the Trust OS Diagnostic. It takes about 5 minutes. There's no sales pitch, no commitment. It tells you exactly what degree of trust your business requires for its clients and where you're currently losing. Maybe it's or transactional trust, speed to lead type of trust. Maybe it's relational trust or deep trust. Okay, I talked about this earlier in the video. If you don't know the answer to this, now that's your first problem. What type of trust am I losing? All you need to do is go to capitalistpro.io and take the Trust OS Diagnostic. Here's the truth. You've already done the hard work. You've built a real business. You deliver real results. You may have constant lead flow and an awesome team to back you, but you have the feeling that you could be doing more. I'm telling you, we've worked with businesses generating over $200 million in annual revenue, and they have a trust problem as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that it spoke to you. It would mean the world to us if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification to get notified on when the next video drops. Now, if you think our channel could help a fellow business owner, please, please, please share this with them. And let's get that trust operating system implemented for you. If you're interested, again, go to capitalistpro.io, take the Trust Diagnostic tool, and we'll see you on the next video.